On Inspirational Africans, we bring you the story of Mr. Sadique Boateng. Mr. Boateng is an educationist and a mentor who believes education and the development of human resource as a calling rather than a profession. He was the national best teacher in 2008 and a bronze medalist in Pan-African Innovative Teachers Forum in Mauritius, and later came among the finalists in the World Innovative Teachers Forum held in Brazil. Once the best teacher in Ashanti region and currently the ICT coordinator and the national panel conveyor for Ghana Association of Science Teachers. He is also the biology and an ICT teacher at the Tia Media Senior High School, Kumasi. Aside being a teacher, he has coached and mentored other teachers in their utmost challenging environment to be creative to help build human capacity. Please stay tuned and be inspired. Mr. Boateng, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Well, let me say assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
You have a tall list of designations to your name, but let me begin by asking you a little bit of your background.
As you said, I'm Sadique Kwaku Boateng. Though the Kwaku is normally not on my official, but as I was born on a Wednesday, the accounts called Kwaku.
Now, let's come back to education. If listening to my intro, I made a statement that at the time that many people are running away from the educational profession, citing a whole lot of reasons for their seeming escape, you decided to choose education, or let me say remain in the education profession. What has been the motivation for that?
Initially, when I started schooling, it was my view to be a doctor, medical doctor. That is how to rank on that. So all my life, I pursued a science course, and then what actually changed my mind was when I completed A-levels, and I did my post-A-level national service at the Winneba Hospital. When we went, the medical officer in charge interviewed us a lot on what we want to be. So we told him, in fact, me, I want to be a doctor, I want to be this, I want to be this. So okay, fine. In an attempt to help us, he rather destroyed our ambition to be a doctor. How did he destroy? He gave us some job schedule that we were doing all right. So anytime he was going to do postmortem, he said when you go to medical school, you'll be doing those things. So he will come and call us to follow him to the mortuary where he was doing the thing. And the first day experience that we had, but was not pleasant at all.
Tell us, what was the experience like?
The lesson I got from that day were in twofold. The first one, it was there that I saw that human beings, we are nothing. Because the person in question that they were going to perform the postmortem on, I knew that person. And the way the person was. And when we entered and the person was lying there, lifeless, wearing nothing. So there I realized that first, in fact, we are nothing. And that day too also deepened my faith in the Almighty. And then, lo and behold, when the doctor tested, oh, the eyes has left. Come on, let's start. He started cutting. This is called it, this is called that. Initially, we are of the view that human beings, our intestines and all internal parts were different from the animals. Because normally, when you eat, you have been slaughtering animals, you have been seeing it. But when we saw that,
What was they say?
they say the only difference were man or things.
But instead, you claim that what you saw deepened your faith in God. So others would have thought that should have rather motivated you to become a doctor.
No, I also look at the other side. Because there, I question myself deeply that can I be doing this to a fellow human being, even dead or alive? I realize that I don't have that that extra edge to do that.
That milk of human kindness.
Yes, it seems my kindness level, and when that photo, if you have this slowness of thinking, it can cause somebody's death. So I said, no.
You quit?
Yeah, I just want to.
So education, what was the motivator? Running away in quotes from the medical profession.
I tried to go to pharmacy.
So what happened there also?
The pharmacy to a lecturer of mine told me that, in fact, all pharmacists have reduced their lifespan by 15 years because as they work most of the time at the labs with chemicals, and those chemicals that they have been taking into their system, in the long run, slows their, and then it reduces their lifespan.
You didn't want to die?
Yeah, I didn't want to die.
So you ran away?
I want to live life to the fullest.
Right, so you ran away again?
Yes.
So what was the motivation?
So
Education.
the next thing I look at was, I look at my family. My father, my mother, they were all into teaching and learning. So I said, then why don't I go that one?
So your father was a former headmaster of this particular institution. Did that also influence you in a way?
Yeah, it was me away because even when he was a headmaster, I used to see him coming early in the morning to come and take some chemistry classes from the students. And sometimes we used to pass here and we hear what some people have been saying about him. But I said, no, I need to copy my dad and maybe go the extra mile and then be better than what he was, because I know that during their time they have a lot of challenges. But as time moves on, new ways of teaching, new ways of this thing coming aboard, so I can go and learn further and then maybe improve on it. So,
but at that time, many people, also didn't have the passion for education, just as you rightly said, because of the numerous challenges. And the refrain in those days was that, and even in these days, that the teacher's reward is in heaven. And whilst you are here, you need milk to live. So why didn't that demotivate you?
At all, because I look at certain things in life. You have seen somebody's life, you want to help the person to make the person a better person. That's the first one. And then sometimes when you go to the classroom and something that you tell the child, something that you explain to the child, and you look at the face and you see some shining light, like a new thing has dawned on the person. But that one is what I always aim to see. And I always do my best to see those looks in the faces of the children. And it keeps me moving on and on and on and on and keep on teaching. So I started the teaching right after my A-level days. That's back in 1987 there. After my service, I just started the teaching. When I started teaching back in 87, that my first class I had, I was teaching science. And then there were some explanations on reproduction and excretion that I had to do. And then after the explanation, in fact, the class didn't want me to stop the class, though the period was over. So from the look on their faces, I got to know that that class have actually made an impact in their life. And that class, one of them is a medical doctor at Sunyani now.
A lot of the students have, spoken at length about you, your passion for teaching, the strength, the zeal which you put into your teaching. What do you see, perhaps that other teachers don't see? You claim that when you see students smiling, when you teach them and then you see the excitement in their eyes, that motivates you. I just want to know what the push factor.
The push factor. The push factor, as I said earlier on, apart from the look on their faces, I see in me as a naturally born teacher. That's how I see. So in effect, sometimes you may plan a lesson that you are going to teach a particular lesson. You go and the circumstances that persist can cause you to change what you have planned, you have rehearsed to go and teach. You can change completely, and there, surprisingly, I can have a new lesson plan, everything in my head, which I can deliver to a letter.
How does it come? Do you receive some
That
sort of
is
inspiration from
that is
somewhere?
what I see. I see it as a call, because it just come. If you take me to a class, you said I should teach. Right for the word go, quickly I can just form one or two things there, and I'll start.
So the post-mortem you ran away from, is that you entered into another post-mortem because you try to find out what is best in the students and then bring them up. Right. Now, national best teacher. How did you get there? Because despite the passion, I know it is highly contested for. So how were you identified eventually?
I think I need to give a little bit talk on the National Best Teacher, how it is organized. Normally, we have got different categories of the best teacher. Now that they are changing it to best school, but when we were there, they have the best science teacher, the best JHS teacher, the best SHS overall teacher. They have got technical, they have got French, they have got all the specialities in the field. So what they do is that either you feel that where you are, you qualify to be, you can apply at your district level, or the CS, those who have been coming around, can identify you as a very good material. They can also recommend you, or your head of school can also recommend you. But none of this went by my case. Very good. So after you have been recommended, the district level, they call all the people that they have been recommended to their office, and then they do assessment of them. They check their lesson notes. They even come to the school to observe you teach, and they ask about you from the community, whether you have got a peculiarity that is not good for the teaching field. And once they are convinced, they select the district best, and the names are forwarded to the regional, and the regional choose have a team that will also work on you, groom you, come to the field, work on you. Once you have been selected as the regional best, then you are presented to the national level to go and compete for the region. In my case, ICT was young coming in, and by that time, I happened to be the coordinator of ICT in the region. I have organized a lot of workshops, introduced teachers how to use ICT to teach, not to teach ICT. But ICT, we see it as a tool, just like how you use pen to do economics. You use ICT to also develop other subject areas. So I was there, and the person who was recommended to go for the award lost the mother or so. So he said I should go. I said, oh, but this one, it needs preparation, that kind of thing. And this, you are going the thing the next day, I tell you to go, how can I be possible? So I made my mind not to go. But somebody came from the regional office and told me that my name has been submitted there, so I'm supposed to report the regional office. So I said, no, this one, because I have not prepared anything. Sure. How can I go and then face a panel and then quiz and then...
Was it that you weren't sure?
So
was it that you weren't sure?
No. You see, I do some of the things I do not because I have the mind that I will get a reward. I do it because I have to do it. So I look at it and say no. Well. So I was there when the regional director sent for me in Saunina. So I went there, and then he told me that, Sadique, I'm not asking you to go. I am ordering you to go in the name of Ashanti. So I have to then go. So I have not prepared, but so I still went. So I went with everything that I have. My certificates, I was having 2 big sacks of certificates. I took everything along. So when I went there, I met some people I have mentored, for people I have trained in ICT for. They asked me, oh, are you coming to see your people off? I said, no, they say I should come and compete. I said, but this is not fair. This is like a grandfather and son affair, so it's not fair.
They thought you had achieved so much.
Yeah, so they said, okay. So the panel called me. I went in front of them. They told me to teach. I picked a lesson. And then incidentally, that time, the phenomenon of the solar eclipse had just occurred. So that is exactly what I picked to teach. And after that, they said that I have done very well. All those who came to teach ICT. But I have applied ICT in teaching the phenomenon that was applicable in physics, applicable in geography, applicable so that every person teaching those subjects can use that technique to teach. So they made me the best ICT teacher for the country, and that qualified me for the overall competition.
Okay.
So I came back to the region. I was here one day. I just had a call that a national team has come to observe me in the school. Where was I? I saw, well, currently I was in the ICT lab. We have then opened a lot of the machines. We were blowing them, getting ready for lessons. So they came to meet me at the ICT lab. They say, okay, they want to do some interview, but before that, they are going around the community asking of me. So I should continue. When they are ready, they'll come and call me. So I was there and they went around. And later on, I had a lot of information. The way they were asking around, and then, but fortunately for me, I don't have any bad record around. So I scored high marks on it. And then I was there. They told us that, well, they have shortlisted, they have submitted the list to Accra. So we had to report as Sunyani for the award. So we went there.
Did you have a feel that you could become the eventual winner because of this process?
I had a feel because when this thing went on, I wrote the Huzo. He has been my inspiration also. Anytime I'm taking a major step in my life, I always write Huzo to get the blessings and prayers for him. And by then I have also received a reply.
What was the reply like?
The reply was that my efforts will be crowned, so I should continue.
Your efforts will be crowned, yes. And then you were eventually crowned. Yes. So you draw a link between what the spiritual head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community communicated to you.
Before I went.
Right. Yeah. And then you were so strong in your belief that once you had communicated to the spiritual head, yes, and he had given you that reply, you would ultimately win, yes, the award. Yes. That was the feeling.
Yes. It was at the back of my mind.
Let me quickly ask you, when you were crowned, no, let me not go there, let's not go there yet. When your name was mentioned as the Sadique Kweku Boateng, National Best Teacher, what went through you?
Initially, I thought I was still dreaming. Initially, though, in a way, I believe I would get it, but I thought I was still dreaming. Especially when we went for the award. See, stories go around. We hear the grapevine, and then we heard that somebody was going to win. So
somebody was going to win, but you didn't know the person?
No, but it was not me. It was not me. Because the name we heard was a female name. It was not a male name.
Did that demotivate you?
No, at all. Not at all. Even when we went the award, though we were partying along, I was still fasting.
You were fasting on the day of the award?
Yes.
Why did you do that?
I wanted what the Huzu told me. The spiritual have told me to come to pass. So he told me to continue praying. And I think the best mood for you to be in prayer is when you are fasting. So I was.
So when the name was mentioned, you thought you were dreaming? I
thought I was dreaming, because especially when they mentioned the 3 finalists, there were 2 females and then myself. And the rumor too was that it was a female. And the previous years have all been won by ladies. I broke the jeans. 2008, I broke the jeans. Wow. And when I won it, subsequently some gentlemen too started winning.
So back to the same question again. When the name Sadique Kweku Boateng was mentioned, he said it felt like a dream, come true. But I just want you to tell us the feeling. How was it like? You know, even walking to take the award after all these years of meritorious service to your nation. How was it like? Did you feel like crying? Were you emotionally trapped or something?
Initially, I was a bit, I don't know how to describe it. I just became like a robot. Then I realized myself that your name has been mentioned. And then there were some other people who were pushing me to go forward. And then I turned around and I saw my father. My father came to the award. When I look at his face and I look at the admiration and the recognition that he gave me enough strength. Then I started moving.
Was your dad a headmaster then?
No. But then he had then retired as a regional director of education at Ashanti. But he came for the award. Especially invited him, so he came.
You won an award, an international award. You won bronze in the Pan-African Teachers Innovative Forum.
It was in Mauritius. The world one was in Brazil.
Right.
after the Mauritius that we went to the World One. Yeah.
Right. How did you get there too?
As I said, see, I believe in Allah. If I want to tell you how I got to Mauritius, you'll be surprised.
How did you get there?
After winning the ICT best in Ghana, which ultimately led me to winning the best teacher, I was supposed to go to Brazil, no, Mauritius for the Pan-African one, but I was not informed. The people who were supposed to inform me, nobody informed me. I was here one day doing some work. It was left about a week to the time when somebody called me, and from the tonnage was not a Ghanaian. I could see the person was a Nigerian. He said, "Are you Sadique Boateng?" I said, "Yes." "Have you prepared your VCT? Have you submitted your passport number?" I said, "What passport? Where am I going?" "So you are supposed to submit your VCT. The deadline is tomorrow. We have not heard from you. What is happening?" I said, "Please take your time." I explained that I don't understand what is happening. Then he said, "My name has been shortlisted. They came to the award and picked my name." So I asked, "What is the VCT?" He said, "A special package that I'm supposed to design the project I'm going to present there on."
It was late already.
Yes. So then she told me that the previous year a Ghanaian went, so I should contact that Ghanaian and quickly get myself acquainted and send it to her by the close of the next day. Hey, so what is happening? So he gave the number of that person to me in Ghana here. I called. The person was a lecturer in one of the training colleges. So I have to go personally there. I drove there that day. And then when I met him, he gave me a template of the VCT. That's you are getting projects from all over Africa, teachers all over Africa. So they want it to be in a format where they can compare it and know the best. So he gave me the format and he gave me the guidelines how to go about it. So I quickly came back, and that night I did not sleep. I have to look at all my projects that I have done and then quickly pick the one that I think I can quickly work on. So I have to work on it quickly, and then the next day the internet too is a problem. I had to force myself, but finally I was able to send it. And then she said that she had collected.
Right. So what recognition did you get in Mauritius?
Mauritius, I won the bronze in content development.
What does that mean?
Yeah, the projects that I presented, I used PowerPoint to design a software whereby even if the teacher is not there, the software will take you through the lesson that I have, the topic for the day. It will take you through the steps, give you the objectives, start giving you the examples, it will ask you questions. When it asks you questions and you answer, it will give you the feedback, whether you were correct or
wrong.
You were wrong.
Now back home, ICT teacher, T.I. Ahmedia Secondary School, Kumasi, how have you used this award to impact positively on the fortunes of your students?
I work not only in the school, my work was also a bit outside, because just after we came back from the World One, we were challenged to produce a champion in Ghana here. And then I took upon myself, because I was there also the regional ICT coordinator. I had some good teachers among, so I quickly contacted some of them that I know were good. And fortunately for me, they bought into the idea. So I helped them develop projects, and then Ghana then did Innovative Teacher Awards. So I presented 5 people from Ashanti to take part in the award, and God being so good, 4 of them had the nod to go and compete in the African one. And unfortunately, 2 of them couldn't go. Only 2 went. And after the 2 that went, one of them was a potential. So that one, I encouraged him a lot. He was able to go to Africa. He was he won the gold there. He went to the world and also won the gold there. And then once I was able to do that, I know my job with them to produce a winner, I have done it. Then I shifted my attention back to my school to try to get a lot of the teachers into using ICT into their teaching and learning. So what we normally do is that we collect topics that teachers find very difficult to teach, so that we collect resources. We collect resources for those topics, so that if it's the turn of the class to come to ICT, we use the resources that time to elucidate that particular subject area for the children to actually.
So, Mr. Boateng, most scientists believe there is a seeming conflict between religion and science.
Yeah.
And they claim that if you want to get a result, investigate, and then you have the empirical evidence.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of any God anywhere, you know, having an influence in the result that you get. You claim that your strong faith in God has been instrumental in most of the things that you do. How has that faith, you know, motivated you to get to where you are?
One thing I always use to argue my way out about some of this situation is, if you do biology into details and even look at reproduction, how a baby is formed from fertilization to the time it comes out, the sort of reactions, the sort of cell divisions that takes place, millions, that even the smallest mistake can result in a baby being born with a lot of deformities. But if you look at the rate at which babies are born and they are free of everything, then you actually appreciate that there's a mighty force somewhere is actually controlling things.
Now let's talk about, once again, the fear factor. Some Muslim parents fearing that they are with their wards, embracing science education. It's perhaps against the teachings of Islam, because it is going to reveal so many things that could affect their faith. How do you react to that?
If you look at the modern day science, the numerals that we have now, it came from the Muslims. Modern day medicine originated from the Muslims, that's the Arab Muslims. So if you are modern day, and instead of going into it to even improve it better, I mean, I find it as a bit strange.
Yeah.
Especially there are certain quotations in the Holy Quran that goes to explain certain things in nature, that even science. Now people believe that we have got various universities there. If you look at the Al-Fatiha, Lord of all the worlds, if we don't go into science to see that actually we have got universities there to actually prove this point that the Quran is making, who is there to prove it for you? So we, the Muslims, it is our duty to go into science, to come out with some of these proofs.
Some of the Muslims also have problems. Neighboring Nigeria, a militant group, Boko Haram, is also saying that Western education is haram, is forbidden. You are a science teacher. How do you see some of these claims?
What I found very, very interesting in Boko Haram is that I have believed them more if when they come out to fight, they come out with bows and arrows to come and fight. But meanwhile, they come with the sophisticated weapons that were produced from the Western world through the Western education. So if you want to actually say that disassociate yourself, then come out and fight with bows and arrows, so that we know that yes, you mean what you say.
Mr. Boateng, we want to thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. So you heard it all. Listening to Mr. Sadique Boateng, I would refer to him as the man of awards. He represents the passion, the zeal and the enthusiasm associated with the teaching profession. It is not surprising, therefore, that he has this tall list of awards. These awards to his name. So till we meet same time again on Inspirational Africans, may the peace and blessings of Allah be on us all.